are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good.
All right.
I'm the reader of the question, so whenever you're ready, we'll get started.
I'm ready whenever you are.
You all ready?
Oh, Bill's ready.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Are we good?
Go team.
What personality attributes do you possess that make you feel you would be successful as Clerk of District Court?
I'm very well organized. I am a self-starter, and I have OCD, which that's that's bad to say because that technically was a clinical diagnosis, and we don't want to be saying that. But I'm very motivated, and I like things organized in a certain way. And to this job, you're responsible for filing and making sure everything is available to people, and I feel that that is a characteristic that lends itself to be able to work in this for this job. So,
Okay, if chosen, are you willing and able to commit extended hours necessary to be successful in operating this office?
yes, I will. Whatever time is necessary to complete the task, I'm more than willing to put in the time.
Please tell us what you believe the duties of the Clerk of District Court entail and how are you capable of handling these assignments and demands?
From what I understand, it is making sure that recording and making all the information from the court is available. If you are summoned to give information or anything, you are to fulfill those orders. You have to make sure all the summons are properly filed in the newspaper as per necessary, and swearing in people as far as court cases are concerned. Basically, just organization and fulfilling duties is the core requirements of this job.
Do you have any advanced writing or verbal communication skills or experience to enhance your qualifications for this position?
I've worked around people many years. I'm a funeral director. I am not state certified, but I have all the requirements up to the state certification to meet with families. With Rex's Market, I have met and dealt with people on a daily basis, positive, negative, in between. So I believe that I have, that gives me an edge on having an ability to converse and delegate things and work with the general public.
Okay, have you supervised employees before? If so, please explain how many employees and when and where.
At Rex's Market, I believe I managed up to 15 employees at that time, or maybe it was more. But basically, at Rex's Market was the time that I was directly responsible for managing employees.
How would you handle a situation in the office between co-workers not getting along?
Basically, I would take them both aside and ask them exactly what is causing the disagreement, and then try to come to a compromise on ways that they can work together and properly coexist, because you need to work as a team, and you have to do, and regardless of people not liking each other, you really need to make sure that they are, they bring many things to the table, and you can't just because it's a conflict, you can't dismiss them as being inadequate employees. So you have to work both sides. I mean, there might be some compromises that can be made, but basically just see what the root of the problem is, and then it's communication. So
how would you motivate your co-workers to perform tasks efficiently?
I would just try to make sure that they like coming to work, and because if you create a good work environment that people want to come to on a daily basis, they're more willing to do work, and that motivates people to complete tasks. And then just tell people what their goals and what your goals are for them and what you'd like to see them achieved, and just make simple attainable things so that people want to complete their tasks. And then make it so people contribute. If they see something can be done a little bit more efficiently, be open to feedback, because your way is not always right. I mean, ultimately, you have the goal to complete the tasks that are at hand and to make sure that they are completed in the proper fashion. And so it's just communicating with everybody and making sure everybody is happy.
How would you discuss with your employees to not use their phones, iPad, personal devices during work hours except for an emergency?
I would have to start by personally making the personal showing strength of not using my phone and whatnot, and not having it available to me except for an emergency, and then just be like, this is the policy that we have in this office, and I abide by it, so therefore I expect people to abide by the same policies that I have. I cannot expect someone to do something that I'm not willing to do myself.
Do you feel comfortable speaking in front of a large group of people? Please tell us a time when you have given a presentation in front of more than 50 people.
I have no problem speaking in front of people. I haven't given a presentation of such. I have spoken in funerals with more than 50 people, but by no means was that a situation where it was a prepared thing. It was more of like, thanking people for coming to the event and whatnot, but it was not a large prepared speech beforehand.
Are you able to multitask projects efficiently and effectively? How do you prioritize actions taken in previous positions?
Yes, I just basically, it's a level of triage. You have to sort where things go in the process. When one thing comes up, you assess the ability to where it fits in everything, and you either prioritize it as being maximum care, or you deal with whatever is the primary goal at hand, and then you work through everything as necessary. It's just a balance, and I've had to do that at every job, because you get many different tasks put before you, and you have to decide which is the most important and which is the least important, and what can be pushed off. It's just a matter of balancing the whole situation.
If there are downtimes within the office, although they are seldom, what would you do?
It really depends on the workplace, if what it allows for. I mean, there is cleaning or organizing, or there's always something to be done within the office. It just really determines the limits of the position and what there is to do. But I do see like that there's more than likely going to be filing, there's more than likely going to be reorganizing. There are things to be doing at all times.
How would you de-escalate a customer who arrives at the counter very angry and demanding?
Try and find a common goal with the individual. There's some commonality. Explain that you're frustrated, but just explain to them the process is just the way it is. Unfortunately, I can't change the way things are done. That this is the manner in which we're going to achieve that. But basically, you find a commonality. You're going to have to talk with them about something. Get them off of the subject to de-escalate the situation, and then once you've got them de-escalated, you then go in and explain, unfortunately, I would love to fulfill this request or anything right now, but unfortunately, I'm legally bound. I cannot, or whatever the situation may be, I cannot fulfill that requirement. And just, explain to them that I would be, frustrated in your situation too, but unfortunately, we just can't fulfill that request at this time.
The Clerk of Court's office contains very confidential information, and the public is not allowed to see sealed cases unless they petition the court. How would you tell someone they are not allowed to have access to a file, and what would you do if they became upset?
Unfortunately, I have to explain to them that, by law, I cannot let individuals see this. It is no different than medical records or anything else. You can't let the general public. And it really depends on if you may have to call the police and, have them escorted out. I would really hate for it to be that way, but, ultimately, you can't allow someone stuff. So it would be just a de-escalation tactic of trying to calm them down and say that, legally we cannot let you see these documents, and, here are the steps to see them if there is any in that situation or whatnot. But if it gets beyond heated, their worst steps scenarios is, to consult, security or whatever. But, it really depends on what the situation is. But ultimately you can't, it is confidential between all parties, and you're legally bound to not disclose anything. So it's just part of the situation.
The clerk's computers are owned by the state of Montana and use Microsoft Office, Excel, and Outlook extensively. Are you familiar with these programs?
Yes, I'm familiar with all Microsoft products.
What motivates you the most to work hard?
Just seeing a reward at the end of the day, making sure, feeling accomplished, and just being noticed, and just being reassured that you're doing the job correctly and as necessary.
Do you prefer your work day to be structured or spontaneous?
I prefer to be structured, but I do understand in this job that things may be spontaneous given the situation.
If you were the employer here, what qualities would you look for?
I would look for someone that is driven, someone that wants to be at the job and wants to be a part of the community and wants to see everybody thrive and work towards a common goal.
Why should the committee appoint you as the interim clerk of district court?
I'm hard working. I'm confidential. I have been a member of this community for many years, good and bad. But I've been here and I'm stable, and I am dependable. So I feel like that I would work well as this in this position.
What type of work history and background achievements lead you to believe you are best suited as the appointed clerk of district court?
I have had, with Rex's, I was responsible for bookkeeping, keeping of records, which is kind of a core function of the job, but I've also gotten interpersonal skills through getting a degree in funeral directing, and also any of my other jobs, I feel like it's give me communication skills with the public at large. So.
Okay, last question. Is there anything of a personal or private nature that needs to be presented before the committee deliberates?
No, nothing that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right, that's all we have.
All right, sounds good.
And thank you for coming. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Good job.
Have a good day, everybody.
You're welcome.
It's a little bit more, people than I was expecting.
Well, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thanks, Derek. So Amy will be here at 3:15.